Kehinde Adegoke, otherwise known as Kenny Crow. I'm a writer, or speaker, liberation, and intentional lifestyle coach, and you're welcome to Monday Motivation. On this platform, we motivate, inspire you, liberating you from just living into intentional living. And if this is your first time being on this platform, please do not hesitate to like, subscribe, share, go back and listen to all of our previous videos and leave your comment. Our book is still fast selling on Amazon, so you can head straight there after this video and go grab your copy of Intentional Living and The Journey from Limited to Limitless. So what are we talking about today? So today we're talking about access and how can we utilize our access. So what is access? Access is an opportunity to approach or enter a place. Today, I am defining access as a liberty to approach a certain place, especially a restricted area where you can come boldly to achieve your desires. So what this simply means is that you have been given a permission to access a restricted area where not just anyone has the access to approach or to be granted that same access. But I am going to start with a story with you today. Once upon a time, there was this wealthy family. In this family, we have a mother, a father, and two sons. But one of the sons looked around and thought, oh, my father has a mighty empire, and it looks like this man is not going to die anytime soon. But what can I do? I need this. I need to be able to have access to everything that belongs to this man. But until this man dies, I'm not going to inherit all of these things so that I can be able to fulfill my desires. So this boy went to his father and said to his father, I want to go on my own. I want to be able to stand on my own, build an empire for myself, create something new, something more fashionable, something much more modernized, so that my generations or my generations to come can benefit from this. However, this boy has a motive. The motive is not to build or create opportunity for other people, but his motive is to have everything that his father had. Because his father was a very good man and a philanthropist at that, he decided, I am going to split all of these things into two for you. The first part for your brother and the other part for you. At least it is your inheritance after all. He gave this boy the half of the inheritance. This boy was so glad. He went about into the city and began to spend lavishly, began to spend until there was nothing. This boy began to beg other people. In fact, sometimes he had to do some work, but this work was not producing as much that could sustain him. And he thought to himself, if the servant in my father's house could be able to live better than I am living right now, I would rather go back to my father and be one of my father's slave. How amazing is that? But remember, the other brother is at home. The other brother was there trying his best to live up to expectation of his father, to make sure that he has a lot more than enough for his father, for himself, and for the community at large. But this son returned. And when he returned, the father was super excited. The child never thought that he was going to have access to become the father's child again because of what he had done. But to his astonishment, his father said, welcome back. The father welcomed him back as his son, not as a slave. Even though the first brother was a little bit jealous and unhappy, why would someone who left you could come back and you would accept that person? What about me? But the father made a profound statement. You have been with me all of this time. But let us welcome and celebrate your brother, because he was once lost, but now he is found. What is the moral of this story? Access. This boy had access to his father. This boy had so much access that he could approach his father, or he could command anything, and anything could be his at that particular point in time. But because he was living within this access, because there is no restriction for this boy, he thought that he could have everything. He thought less of the access that he had, and then decided to go out. But after the outside world taught him a lesson, he remembered one thing, that he once had access to identity, and he had access to wealth. Whereby, why do I have to live without access? But to so many people, we may have an opportunity. You're sitting with the CEO every day. You don't have to book an appointment. Still, you fall within 3 categories: underutilizing the access that you have, or you can be abusing the access you have. The only way to enjoy that access would be if you're utilizing that access in a profitable way. How can we underutilize our access? Take your phone, for example. With your phone, there's so many things that you can be able to do on your phone. However, the only thing most people do with their phones is to take pictures, send text messages, receive text messages, and make a phone call, even go on social media on their phone, but that is all. However, some people can use this phone to do a lot of productive things. We've not given ourselves that opportunity to go about and understand, what am I supposed to do with this phone? And I am not exempted in that area as well. There's so many functions on my phone that I've got no clue of what they do or why they're even there. And so also is some opportunities that we have been given. We are not utilizing this opportunity. Also, take for instance, if you have been given a vision regarding a specific mountain of influence, for example, mothers or parents or women, but you've not been able to work on this vision so that this vision can be a solution to what is going on in that particular sector, you would realize that you are underutilizing the access that you have with God, that God has chosen to give you that unrestricted access, that vision that you can be able to change and transform your world. What are you doing with the access that you're given? You're given access to a notable person, but you don't know how you can make use of that access for a greater impact. You are constantly going in and out with a particular pastor or a prophet. You don't understand how you can tap into their wealth of knowledge, how you can drill experience out of them. You don't understand how they can be a blessing to you. But because you see them every day, you have access every day, you go in using your key card, you can just access that throne at that particular point in time. You can go before the CEO without an appointment. You think that that opportunity is eternal. But the truth is, some access is just for a period of time. Some access is just for a day. Some access is just for an hour. But how do you make yourself prepared for that access? Or how are you using that access? The next one is abusing access. A lot of people abuse access. I will be using medication for an example. So take for instance, because you have access to ibuprofen, you can go to the shop and get ibuprofen without having to go through the doctor, getting a prescription, and then taking it back to the pharmacy. But with this, you can just get an ibuprofen alongside with your other shopping, so that when you have headache, You can just access it and use it. But then you realize one thing, that instead of using it as prescribed on the label, instead of using 2 at the time, you decide to use 4 because you think that the headache is too much. So also is the same way we abuse some access in our life. We abuse some opportunity in our life because those access are there. We're not thinking about how can we impact the world with this access? How can I create more opportunities for people with this access? How can I be of benefit to the person who was given this access? The only thing we're thinking is, how can I take everything, leaving this person with nothing? It's just like somebody opening the door of their house to you and they invite you in, come and have a wonderful time with us. And then you came into the house and the next thing you're doing is calling some people to come and rob these people of their treasures. That is a definition of abusing access. Sometimes we abuse access by abusing the people that has given us the access. We abuse access when we have a wrong motive. We abuse access when we think, how can this person be greater than I am? How can this person be better than I am? I have to be the best. So you're looking for every opportunity to find the secret behind the access so that you can then override the access. But that will only close the door against somebody else that is coming behind you. We need to think about, how can I be the best with the access that I have been given, so that I can create opportunity for other people coming behind me to also have the same access. The next one are the ones who utilize access. Whenever they're given an opportunity, they try their utmost best not to disappoint the person that has given them access, not to disappoint themselves of the access that has been granted, not to close the door against people that are coming behind, and also to create something that would be of impact to people. Those are the people who utilize access. Those are the people who do not abuse access. Those are the people who are not underutilizing access. It's just when you're being given a promotion at your place of work, they gave it to you because they know that you will bring increase to the organization. You yourself will be increased and the people under you will be increased, and also your end users will benefit from it. Instead of utilizing that opportunity, you decide to be complacent with that position. You decide to maltreat people under you. You decide to embezzle funds that would help the organization. You know what you have just done? You have not utilized that position, you have abused that position. And because of you, anyone that will be brought into that same position as yourself will be thoroughly scrutinized because of your past behavior. So think about it as you go in the course of the week. How can I utilize the access that I've been given? How can I be a blessing to the person who has given me access? How can this access empower me? How can I use this access to create opportunities for people coming behind me? And how can I use this access for a greater impact? Those are the questions that I want you to go with this week. But then you're asking me, what do I need to do when I have been given this access so that I can be able to do all of these things that you've just said? Don't worry, I've got you. The first one is, you need to thoroughly assess yourself. Who are you? What is your strength? How can that strength help you with the access that you've been given? What are my weaknesses? How can my weakness affect me or make me fail in this access that I've been given? Then what do I do about them? So you need to assess yourself. Evaluating yourself will be a powerful tool for you with the access that you've been given. Your character is really important with the access that you've been given. The motive behind you having that access will determine the end result of the access. So number one, again, is thoroughly evaluate yourself. Then the second one is build healthy relationship when you're given that access. This access that I've been given, who are those people that have been given same access? Who am I working with? Or what is my relationship with the person who has granted me access? So all of these things is really important. You need to build healthy relationship, because when you do well with that access that you've been given, you'll be given a higher access to do something else, or people can then refer you and say, yes, this particular person has been good in this area, and so we think that they will be better off in even a much higher role. So the next one, stay flexible. Yes, you're coming with something. Yes, you are empowered with something. You know what you want to do. But don't forget to be flexible enough to learn from people who are in there. To learn from those people who have given you the access. To learn as you go on the journey. It is really important for you to be flexible. Hold your truth and also learn as you go on the way. Know what you can pick and know what you need to dismiss. It is really important. Number 4 is be proactive. Oh, you don't want to take that position and then become relaxed in that position doing nothing. No, you want to take up that position. You want to be the best at that role. You want to know what the problem is. You want to put your best foot forward to solving that challenges that might be within the access that you've been given. It is really important to be proactive. When you don't know, ask questions. When you do know, table it before your superior. If you don't have a superior, go ahead and start doing it. And the last one is set goals. Set goals for yourself. With this access I've been given, what are the goals that I want to achieve? What are those things that I need to set and put in place? Those are really important. And by the time you are able to go through all of this, you will be able to utilize the access that you have been given effectively and positively. So, till I see you again next week, do not take any access for granted, but make the best use of the access. Remember, not just for you, but also to appreciate the person who was giving you the access. So till I see you again next week, never misuse any access that is being given unto you. Try as much as possible to use every access or opportunity that has been given to you this week wisely, and not just for yourself, but for the betterment of everyone around you. Stay blessed. Bye now.